So now we get to watch the history of Disney and why all their movies are shit now. Because of the boy trouble.
Stumble on a news article so brain-meltingly,
Check out
soul-crushingly stupid.
the critical drinker. Go ahead and throw his video a like. The video will be down in the description. Check it out.
Socially acceptable response is... Such was the case yesterday
In the
with
Matrix.
this absolute corker from Variety, that always reliable bastion of respectable, impartial journalism.
So if you guys don't know, Disney's on a pretty big downward spiral because every movie that they've been made, even whenever you watch Endgame, there's a scene in there whenever they're fighting Thanos in the big war. If you haven't fucking seen it yet, you're a loser. Don't sit here and bitch to me about spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, the movie's been out for what, 3 years now? Go fucking watch the movie. Get the fuck out of here. There is a scene where the girls kind of band together on the battlefield towards the end of the movie, and they all start fighting. And whenever I saw that, I immediately was like, "Oh, Marvel's fucked." And boy, was I right.
Disney's boy trouble. Studio seeks original IP to win back Gen Z men amid Marvel Lucasfilm struggles.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Leadership at Walt Disney Studios has been pressing Hollywood creatives in recent months, multiple sources tell Variety, for movies that will bring young men back to the brand in a meaningful way.
You want to bring young men back to the brand? Cater to their parents. The boomers had their shit catered to until I was long past 20. That's how you get young generations to go. You make a movie that's going to bond with the boomers, that's going to bond with the millennials, that's going to bond eventually with Gen Z. That's how you get it. The millennials gave to the Gen Z or whoever the fuck. So that's how you get the next generation to watch it. When dad sees a really good action movie that doesn't have all this woke bullshit in it, that's how you get people to go and watch your films. If you must know. Cater to the prior audience, and then you'll get the new audience. You know why? Because mommy and daddy have all the fucking money, you dipshits. It always has been that way. Well, I mean, at least boomers did. Boomers did.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Tell me, why would you have to do something like that? I mean, you've spent years telling us that men are irrelevant now, that nobody needs or wants those mean, stinky boys polluting culture with their toxic masculinity.
Not to mention what Iron, what was that like? What was that fucking movie that Iron, what was that stupid movie that came out? There was a movie that came out. What was the movie that came out that was really bad that was like Iron Man but not? Oh, what the fuck was it called? What was that movie that had the female Iron Man that didn't really do good? It's not Black Panther. Bro, it's trying to cover it up. What is it? Ironheart. That retarded ass movie where like, so there was a scene where the girl was like, "Oh, Iron Man only has everything because he was multi-billionaire." But then, you know, you look back at the original fucking movie and most of the comics, bro had a box of fucking missile scraps and built the Iron Man suit from dirt. He even made the arc reactor from dirt. So fuck off with this. This is what happens whenever you think you're catering to some people. It comes to find out that it's not the case. This is what you get. And then when you double down and die on the hill, and you're losing all this money and about to go out of business, it pays to be a gamer, baby.
That male and pale is stale, that the future is female. Why do you care about attracting men to your brand all of a sudden?
That's right. Why do you care now?
Fuck.
And therein lies the rub, dear viewer. You might utterly despise men and everything they represent, but when it comes to
They're the core audience. Deal with it.
increasingly uncomfortable meeting with the accountants every few months, well, it turns out that you kind of need them. Especially young men, who seem to be quite a powerful demographic these days. Let's see what else this stunning and brave article has to say.
I can't tell you how many women that I know that look at a movie that's coming out and are like, oh, that looks good, and they never even bother to see it. I'll be honest, I'll be like, that looks like shit. And then they're like, oh, that looks good. And then they never go and see it.
Shall we? Numerous studies show that Gen Z men in particular are a lonely, gaming-obsessed group who were hampered in their formative years by...
You know why? Because the world for them sucks right now. There's no way they're ever going to get a career unless they manage to make it with cryptocurrency or a fucking gaming or the latter, which is YouTube. That's why. Because the old tactic of telling people or lying to people, hey, all you got to do is work real hard at your job and you'll go places. Yeah, that's a lot of bullshit, especially whenever you got a market flooded with people that have master's degrees and bachelors. So now you have an entire culture of people that are in enough debt to make them poor, no matter what kind of job they get.
COVID-19 lockdowns. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there before this journalistic retardation goes any further.
It's not
Let's
because
be
of COVID.
clear about one thing.
That's what really pisses me off. They're gonna blame COVID for years. It's not fucking COVID. It's not. If anything, COVID made people open their eyes because they were forced to be on social media and realize it's the American lie.
Young men were not hampered in their formative years by the lockdowns, or the patriarchy, or global warming, or
No, it
social
was 4 years of
injustice, or any
wokeism.
the other bullshit excuses you're going to try to throw in to obfuscate the truth.
They
were hampered by an entertainment media complex that spent most of the past decade systematically trying to obliterate them from modern culture.
Yep.
They've been berated, insulted, deconstructed, mocked, lectured, misrepresented, gaslit into believing their every natural instinct was wrong and evil, and simultaneously labelled as useless and irrelevant, but also somehow...
They were also called misogynistic, sexist, Nazis, racist. Oh, what else do we got? What else can you guys think of? What else you got?
the cause of every negative thing that ever happens in the world, depending on which explanation is most expedient.
I'm so fucking tired.
Right?
I thought I just needed a night's sleep, but it's more than that.
And every single time they've dared to defend themselves or push back in this completely one-sided war, they've been dismissed as sexist, misogynistic idiots and bullied or attacked into silence.
There it is.
Is it really that much of a surprise that after all of this, after realizing the deck is so hopelessly stacked against them that not only can they never be allowed to win, but they'll be actively punished for even trying in the first place, they finally decided, fuck it, I'm just not playing anymore.
That's
and they
right.
hit back with the most powerful...
Why play a game that you're built to lose against? Why play a game that is systematically designed for you, even if you think you can win it, is designed for you to lose it? It's like whenever you win those, like, rip-off, like, Taylor games where you walk up and it's like a little shop in the middle of the street, and they're like, oh, you can if you pull the gold brick out, then we'll give it to you. And then you actually manage to pull the gold brick out, and the guy takes it and puts it back in. And it's like, oh, sorry. You were never meant to win that. You're just meant to waste your money.
Weapon left in their arsenal, their wallets. If companies like Disney decide to use their platform to beat young men over the head with the message that everything male is inherently bad, then I guess young men just won't watch their stuff anymore. It's not exactly
That's what they
rocket
wanted,
science,
right?
But holy fuck, this article and others like it will explore every possible explanation except the simplest and most obvious one. And I think we know why.
And that was the thing. Well, if you don't like the game, then don't buy it. If you don't like the movie, then don't watch it. Okay. Oh, what? The developers are going out of business? The gaming developers are all shutting down? What? Ubisoft is selling to Tencent? What? What? What's going on? Well, you alienated your primary demographic, dumb fuck. What'd you think was gonna happen? What'd you think was gonna happen? Who do you think watched this slop? Men do. The fuck?
It actually kind of reminds me of all those articles cropping up on feminist websites these days decrying the lack of male attention after those very same sites spent years complaining about men being too forward, too assertive, too interested, too creepy, and gosh darn it, why can't they just leave us all alone?
It's the same thing with all the girls that were in the gyms. They would set up their cameras, and then whenever they were doing squats and stuff, and if a guy even so much as glanced in their direction, it would get millions of views. And then now it got so bad and ruined so many people's lives that now, whenever you do that, even if you're like just working out, you're doing like a deadlift, or not a deadlift, a bench press. I've seen so many girls almost get killed because the deadlift like falls on them and nobody wants to touch them because they're scared. I don't blame them. I don't want to ruin my life because you want to be a dumbass. Fuck that.
Gee, I wonder
You got what you fucking wanted.
why they're not interested in dating anymore. It's a total mystery to me too, ladies. The irony is that Disney already had access to some of the biggest and most successful male-focused brands in history. And yes, both Star Wars and Marvel were decidedly male.
And that seems to be the main theme here with any kind of development or gaming, is these fuckers know that if they were to go out on their own and make their own game, it would bomb. So what they did is they infected all these fucking studios and all these developers like cancer, and then they changed original IPs that had like years of buildup, like in-game, for example, and they ruined it. Same thing with Ubisoft, same thing that's happening with Marvel right now. And you see how much money Deadpool generated? They took so much money from the amount of money that Deadpool versus Wolverine made and put it towards making more of these woke ass dumpster fire pile of shit movies that nobody even went to the fucking theaters to watch. They had to re-release that stupid Snow White film twice, and it didn't even touch the amount of money they spent to produce that piece of shit. This is what you fucking get. You wanted it, you fucking got it. Enjoy the coffin that you made.
Brands. That doesn't mean the ladies couldn't enjoy them too, and many did in fact. But if I had to choose a gender most likely to gravitate towards a franchise about space battles, adventure, ships and technology, heroism,
action and adventure,
struggles for the fate of the universe,
men.
It's gonna be men. And that right there is perfectly okay. Men are allowed to have stuff that they like, and a lot of the time, that stuff is going to be quite different from what women like.
Yep.
The problem is that only one side is ever expected to compromise and make concessions to accommodate the other, and I'll give you a little hint here. It's not
men.
Women. Like,
It's
could
men.
you
It's
imagine
always
for
men.
1 second if they did a reboot of Sex and the City? Sorry, wait, another reboot. Only this
Another
time half the
reboot?
female characters were gender swapped, the glamour and sophistication of the New York social scene was replaced with muscle cars and guns and girls in bikinis, and every episode had to include some tedious subtext about how difficult modern life is for men to navigate. I don't think it would go down very well.
Nope.
But there seems to be this weird cultural taboo around the idea of male-focused anything now, like catering specifically to men as a demographic is some moral crime that has to be addressed and corrected, instead of a smart and logical business decision from a company that should be all about giving the customer what they want.
Fucking trailer, that ad got so much hate online. But man, did it make them some money.
Once. In the case of those male-oriented franchise that used to be a license to print money because they used to understand their customers, the problem wasn't just the clunky attempts to court a female audience with a sudden influx of pandering, poorly written girl bosses who could magically do anything.
What really sucks is that you can make a good movie with a female lead. You can. But I'm going to tell you right now, the reasons why none of them did good is because they were all for a specific ideology they were trying to push on people. And whenever that's your main goal for making a movie, it's going to fail every time. Because your goal isn't to make entertainment, it's to make an ideology and push it onto people that don't give a fuck about it. That's where you fucked up. That's why none of these movies are doing worth a shit. Nobody gives a shit about this. We want to go to a movie and we want to get taken out of this bullshit reality for at least an hour and a half out of our fucking day. That's all we want to do. And when you start cramming all this nonsensical garbage, these turd toppers, in all this fucking content, nobody's going to want to watch it. And that's how it is. That's how it's always been. It just sucks that they had to infest some of the biggest developers and movie film directors and stuff like that to make their stupid ass ideals pretty much destroy their companies. It sucks, but that is what it is.